Hello again, my friends. The numerous career vacancies on Bungie's official website gives us a tantalising glimpse into the kind of experience we can expect when we finally get our grubby little mitts on Destiny. Let's start with Bungie's senior world designer. Now, Bungie's looking for a designer to build world activities within their next universe. The description reads, "You will help design our game worlds, develop engaging multiplayer experiences, and create dynamic AI encounters that will be talked about for years to come. You will evaluate gameplay pacing, flow, difficulty curves, and balance to polish all game activities for an optimum player experience. You will ultimately be responsible for setup and fine-tuning of gameplay experiences, including everything from story moments to player respawn points." So guys, it seems as though Bungie is determined to pack Destiny's universe with unforgettable experiences. I'm particularly excited by the talk of dynamic AI encounters, which suggests Destiny will have these special moments of emergent gameplay. Halo fans know all too well about Bungie's 30 seconds of fun philosophy, and in fact, in a recent interview, Bungie spoke about this very thing. Here's what they said: "Destiny is a sandbox action game. From moment to moment, the choices that you make in combat are still just as important as it's ever been. If you love that fast cycle sandbox gameplay that Bungie is known for, you're going to love this game. We're tuning all the weapons and the combatants to make that a great 30 seconds of fun experience over and over again." Next up is Bungie's gameplay designer. Bungie asked the question, do you hate that moment in a game when you realise you've just found the ultimate powerful weapon, making all others pointless? Well, in fact, yes I do, Bungie, you beautiful bastards. Here's the job description. As a gameplay designer, you will help craft and implement a robust sandbox of gameplay systems. So then, as you'd expect from Bungie, gameplay is king. They mention a robust sandbox of gameplay systems, which again feeds into their 30 seconds of fun philosophy. Expect vehicular combat, tricky AI, balanced weapons, and breathtaking environments. In other words, all the hallmarks of a Bungie game. Next up is Bungie's raid designer vacancy. Now, this is Bungie's latest vacancy and it makes for some pretty interesting reading. In fact, it's probably worth reading in full. It says, "Are you experienced in building challenging cooperative gameplay experiences? Do you have fond memories of the first time you killed Ragnaros? Can you build encounters that require planning, demand coordination, and reward execution? Do you understand combat spaces and the ways players will utilise them to avoid otherwise certain death?" Bungie is seeking designers to build experiences that will challenge players' thumbs, minds, and communication skills. As a raid designer, you will help create memorable, bond-building encounters that players will scour YouTube to defeat. It's pretty intense sounding stuff, don't you think? It's clear that Bungie is seeking to create challenging and memorable co-op experiences that will build bonds between players, and they want these co-op experiences to require planning and coordination and communication, so not your average run and gun kind of gameplay. It seems as though Destiny will be a little bit more cerebral than that, which I think is a huge bonus. Also, if you were wondering who Ragnaros is, he's an incredibly powerful Fire Lord in World of Warcraft, another huge hint at the kind of things we can expect to see in Destiny. Moving on to Bungie's content designer, the position is described as follows. Bungie is seeking a designer to build content within our next universe, concentrating on great player experiences and the secrets of replay value. As a content designer at Bungie, you will help design missions and compelling content in our game worlds. Your contributions will help players enjoy positive social combat interactions that will be talked about for years to come. This design position is responsible for creating fun and balanced missions within the game universe. You will ultimately be responsible for the setup and fine-tuning of these public dynamic experiences. Now, the key things to pick out here are replay value, social combat situations, and dynamic experiences. Bungie has revealed in past interviews that certain areas of the game will lure you back time and time again. We already know that Mars is home to the Dust Palace, the Exclusion Zone, and the Dead Forest, but we don't know how Destiny will keep luring us back to these places. Replay value, it seems, is a crucial element to get right, to keep players interested. As for social combat and dynamic experiences, well, expect emergent gameplay and firefights that involve communication and cooperation with your fellow Guardians. Next up is Bungie's Economy Designer. Again, this is another really interesting vacancy worth exploring in detail. The job description reads as follows. You will help create an economic system that will fulfill a player's needs just as much as shooting an alien in the face. The Economy Designer at Bungie will develop a robust and rewarding game economy that drives player behaviour towards intended goals. You will design the systems and mechanics which drive in-game trade, satisfy the player's needs for possessions and wealth, whilst ensuring rewards retain their intended value despite attempts to exploit or grief the system. Now, when I first read this, I was like, whoa, this is pretty damn cool. Destiny will have its own economy, its own in-game trading system. The vacancy also talks about players' wealth and possessions, two things that seem to play an important role in the game. Bungie has already spoken of Destiny's in-game currency to buy spacecraft, armour and weapons, and they've also talked about how these items evolve with your character over time. So it seems as though a robust, well-designed in-game economy is something we can expect to become fairly familiar with as we explore Destiny's universe, which, if you want my opinion, is pretty damn exciting. And finally, we have Bungie's Player Investment Designer. Here's how the job description reads. Do you dream about creating worlds imbued with real value and consequence? Can you tell the difference between simple reward that only drives the player to the game and a meaningful incentive that truly captivates their imagination? Do you have ideas for systems that will enable a player to evolve within the heart-pounding experience of an action game? A Player Investment Designer develops a robust and rewarding path for the gamer to follow. You will design consistent, rich and secure rewards that drive player behaviour towards having fun and investing in their experience. So guys, a world imbued with value and consequence. Bungie clearly wants your actions to win you real rewards, rewards that capture the imagination. Now, what could these rewards be? Currency seems a little too obvious and dull to fit this description, so maybe Bungie's thinking about super rare armour, spacecraft or other such material possessions that make you stand out from the crowd. Bungie recently revealed that Destiny will have more weapons than all the other Halo games put together, so maybe these rewards will consist of unique weapon mods, like a holographic scope for your sniper rifle, for example. I guess time will tell, but it's nice to know Bungie is dedicated to player investment. So guys, that's a hell of a lot of info to take in, but what stood out most for you? What were you most excited to hear about? Leave a comment and let me know. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Destiny news, and thanks for watching, you beautiful bastards. Here comes that mother chuff of a boom.